I did it twice.
Yeah.
Oh, really?
I think I did it, maybe I didn't finish the full second round, but I know I started it for a second time. That's what I did. I stopped it about halfway through my second round right before Summit and decided to go back to 21 Day Fix Extreme right before Summit.
Okay.
I loved it though.
Me too.
Okay, it is recording. It automatically started when I got back on. So I'm going to turn it over to Megan. As all of you know, except maybe not you, Suzanne, Megan is one of our diamond coaches on our team. And I asked if she would present some of her social media tips, some things that have been working for her lately, especially because I'm sure y'all get sick of listening to me. So I would love to turn it over to another pro or a pro on our team. And Megan, you just take it away, you rock star.
Okay. I don't know about pro. So I have been very discouraged with my business here lately. I'm going to start there and kind of why I've kind of changed my focus around. I haven't put a whole lot of time into it over the last month or two. And so obviously because of that, there's not a whole lot happening with my business the last month or two. And I've really spent a lot of time kind of thinking about why that is, why I haven't been putting as much time and energy into it. And so one of my big reservations that I've had from very day one is Facebook. And that's because with my profession, y'all know I'm a therapist. I have a private practice. And this is going to sound really snooty, but I'm the person in town that the majority of the doctors refer to first. I have a very good reputation in town, and I'm friends with most of those physicians and attorneys and other therapists and the people who refer to me on Facebook, and they see all of my stuff all the time. And so that's always been a reservation for me from the beginning, is I'm not going to post a bunch of half naked pictures in a sports bra before pictures for the physician down the street to see, and then have him refer to me after he's seen me half naked. So I've been very uncomfortable with posting too much of that stuff because I want to maintain a very professional reputation. And so that's always been a struggle for me, and I haven't really been able to figure out how to balance that. And so I was scrolling through, well, first of all, were any of y'all on that phone call with Team Life Changers with Michael McBride a few weeks ago? Sheila was. Okay. Y'all need to go back and listen to that call. It's on the Hangout page. It was Michael McBride, who I had been following for a while anyway from some other larger groups that I'm in. I knew who he was. But he did a whole call on social media and understanding social media a little bit better. And that really got the wheels turning for me and kind of lit a new fire underneath me to start exploring some other avenues, because it kind of made me realize that feeling uncomfortable posting on Facebook is what was sort of holding me back a little bit from putting myself out there and really documenting my journey and everything. So a week or so later, I was scrolling through some of the old morning wake-up calls, and I found a call from back in February where this girl's talking about Instagram. And so I listened to this call, and all of a sudden I was like, I need to be doing Instagram. So that's what I've been doing, and that's what I wanted to tell y'all a little bit about tonight, about what I've been doing over the last few weeks and what I'm sort of seeing in terms of progress. And it's all very new to me still in terms of the way I'm looking at Instagram from a business perspective and not just posting pictures of my kids. But I've really decided that Instagram is going to be my platform, because whereas I'm comfortable posting a lot of my Beachbody stuff and transformation stuff on Facebook, and I'm not going to post 5 times a day about anything on Facebook because I feel like that's obnoxious to the people who are watching me professionally. I'll do it all day long on Instagram, and I don't care because none of those people follow me on Instagram. So I was like, oh, I can totally do all kinds of obnoxious stuff on here and have the best of both worlds. So here's what I've been doing. I've really been researching Instagram, and this can kind of go with Snapchat and Facebook as well. But I've really been researching Instagram in a different way. And so I really went through my whole history of posts. And Angela has always said, like, your Facebook, your Instagram, whatever, it should read like a magazine. You should look at all the pictures, and it should be, you want to keep flipping the page because it looks interesting to you. So I started to pay attention to what I had been posting, what people seemed interested in, and then I kind of went back to my original list of the things that make me who I am, the things that I enjoy, the things that I'm into. And so I was like, okay, those are the things that I'm going to start posting, like really focusing in and posting about. Sorry, I have a creeper coming in the room. Chloe's walking through. So, you know, on my list, y'all know that I'm like a psycho planner. And so anything that has to do with organization and planners and color coding systems and anything like that, that is who I am. I am a bargain shopper. I love a deal. I love when a brand new store opens. I will be at the grand opening of Marshall's Thursday morning before I go to work. Things like that. Thursday morning, I will be there. And people know those things about me. That doesn't seem like anything new or unusual. So I'm like, well, I'm going to keep posting about those kinds of things, but start to sprinkle more of my Beachbody stuff in on top of that. So the first thing that I've been doing is really focusing on my content and posting more. And any of you who I'm friends with or follow me, I don't know what you call it on Instagram. I guess if you follow me on Instagram, you probably have noticed that I've been posting a whole lot more, and I've been changing up the content that I've been putting out there. There's a lot of different things, but they kind of all flow. So that's been the first thing. Something else that he talked a whole lot about, Michael McBride, is hashtags. One of the questions that came up about hashtags was, well, I'm posting things about fit mom, healthy mom, clean eating, things like that, but I'm not getting any traction on them. And his response was, well, yeah, because it's only coaches that are posting those things. So only coaches are looking at those hashtags, and the only other people using those hashtags are coaches. So of course you're not going to get any traction from anybody new. So I'm staying away from all of that. So I'm just using regular hashtags that I think would be funny anyway to me, and things that I typically say, and just making it into a hashtag. And then what I'm doing at the end of every day, the hashtags that I've used, I'm now searching those hashtags. I'm scrolling through the list of content that other people have used that same hashtag, because obviously me and that person have something in common. If we thought that that hashtag was catchy or clever or funny, or we speak the same, you know, type of language or slang. So clearly that person and I are already going to relate to each other, even on a very small level. So I'm searching all of my own hashtags. I'm scrolling through the content of those people. I'm finding pictures that are catchy to me, or people in their profile picture that kind of look like me, look like somebody that I would be friends with, or that would be a challenger, or somebody that we would engage with one another in real life. And then I stalk their Instagram page because if they're already a Facebook, or if they're already a Beachbody person or a Plexus person or a CrossFit person or whatever, I'm not going to follow them. If they just look like an everyday normal person, then I engage in a couple of their photos, whether it be like them or maybe a comment on something, and then I follow them. And then the hope is that if I continue to engage on some of their stuff here and there, hi, Sean. If I engage on some of my stuff here and there, but not like a stalker, then they're going to be like, who is this girl? Look at my page, maybe find that there's things that they can relate to about me, and then they're going to follow me back. Okay, so that is like, any questions about that? Because that seems like a big process. It actually has not taken me that long to do that. Does that all kind of make sense? Yes? Okay. All right, so here's what I'm doing once I start following somebody. And this was something that the girl on this morning wake up call podcast suggested doing. Every time I follow somebody, I make a list of their name, and I've been keeping a list in my phone and then transferring it to like a document on the computer. I don't think you can see that because of the glare. Okay. Well, I've been keeping a list. I have probably, 75 people on this list now. And I just put whatever their Instagram name is. And then once I transfer it into my computer, what I've been doing is marking if I commented on any of their stuff. So I'm not going to like note to myself if I liked it, because I know that I already did that. But if I went so far as to comment on somebody's picture, I'm going to make a note of that. If they are somebody who has started liking some of my pictures, I'm making a note of that. And if there's somebody that has followed me back, I'm making a note of that. And that's just because in that podcast, the girl suggests doing that and tracking it, because if you are engaging on somebody's Instagram for a couple of months and they're still not following you back, then you probably just unfollow them because they're taking up your newsfeed and they're not interested in you. So I'm not that far enough along yet to know how that is going to play out, so I will keep you posted. But so far, out of probably 75 people, I would say in the last 2 weeks, I've had about 10 of them follow me back. And I think that's pretty good for the first couple weeks of attempting this and kind of figuring out what I'm even doing and not having a clear plan. So I would say like 10 of them have started following me back, and of those 10, all of them have liked a couple of pictures. Nobody has engaged in terms of comments, but they're liking things, which means they're looking at my stuff and taking enough time to be like, she's interesting. So that's good. And then in terms of making comments on people's stuff, and I suggest this with Facebook too, I have a lot of like random people who have started following me, and it's because they also have a business and they want me to follow them back. And a lot of those people are making, which is so annoying, and they're making comments on my stuff, but it's stupid generic stuff like, oh, haha, that's cute. And I'm like, okay. So I'm trying to comment on people's stuff that I actually want them to engage back with me. So for instance, today there's a girl that I started following she's a photographer, and she posts the most amazing pictures, and she posted a whole string of pictures of New York. And so I commented on it and said, oh my gosh, my family is taking a trip to New York in December. Your pictures are making me so excited for this trip. Because my hope is that at some point she may come back with a comment and say, oh, what are your plans when you're on your trip in New York? Or where are you going? Or here's what you should do on your trip. Like, she might engage back with me. My sister just found out that she's pregnant, and I am following a few people that have newborn babies, and they have been posting, Jamie, you're going to need one of these too. I may order you one too. They're these really cute, it's a blanket that lays on the floor, and it's got like 1 through 12 on it, and then it says days, weeks, months, and it's what you lay the baby on to do like your 1 month photo or 2 month photo or whatever. They're precious and they're like super cheap. So this girl posted a picture of her baby on it, and I commented on it and said, oh my gosh, where did you get this from? My sister just found out she's pregnant. I would love to order one for her. She immediately wrote me back, and she tagged the company in it, but now she's going to pay attention to who I am. She's like, who is this random girl that just commented when we look at her page? So if you're going to comment on strangers' stuff, make sure that it's something that they might engage you back, either because you asked a question or because they might want to give you a suggestion for something or thank you for, something that you said, but something more than just like cute picture, because nobody cares about that comment. Let's see. I think that's kind of the big stuff that I've really been doing, but I feel like I've really shifted my focus away from stalking all the people that I already know, because they either, one, are not interested, they've already said no, or they've already not responded to my invitation to do a challenge group. And I still have a lot of people in my warm market that I can invite, but I've decided that Instagram is going to be where I start to create a new market of following and a new market of people. And I'm going to go ahead and start very slowly growing that while I exhaust my current market and they're all sick of me. And then I'll have a new batch of people to annoy and invite to challenge groups. And so hopefully all along I will be building some new people underneath me who think I'm interesting. And I also think that that might help to make people interested in coaching in general, because they can see that this is not like a psycho full-time job. I mean, you're not those people who are only posting about that business 24/7. Like, it's sprinkled into your everyday daily life, and that's what coaching is. And I think that those people might be more apt to want to hear about coaching later on, potentially, because they've kind of already seen the way I live my life with coaching being a part of that. So, okay, I think that's kind of everything in a nutshell. But my, I guess, request to y'all that do follow me on Instagram is, because I am kind of just starting to figure out a new little system for myself, is I would love any feedback from y'all as you see my posts about what you think maybe I should be posting more of. If it looks like there's an area that you know that I could be posting more about because you know a certain aspect of my life that I'm missing and just overlooking, or whatever. So I would love that feedback from y'all, because I want to see how this works over the next few months and then be able to tell you to run, go do it. So that's kind of what I've been doing and my little social media tips with Instagram. Oh, you're muted, Ange.
Angela, you're muted.
You're muted.
Yeah, you unmuted all of us, but you muted yourself.
I did unmute all, but it muted me. I was saying thank you so much for that. And I was saying what my favorite thing that you said was you're shifting your focus from people that you know to people that you don't know.
Yeah.
And that's really liberating, Like, I bet you're having a lot of fun. It looks like you are from your posts. And
it is fun. Like, and I enjoy stalking people anyway. Like, I think I should have been a private investigator because I really do enjoy that part. So it's fun to scroll through people's stuff and be like, ooh, we have that in common, or ooh, we would be friends about that thing, or, whatever, and hope that they're looking at my stuff and thinking the same,
Totally. And what you said about that one national wake-up call that girl was talking about Instagram and how to better keep track of it to get business, and you're so good about keeping track of what you were explaining, people that you commented on, people that have followed you back. That's something that I'm not good at, that I need to get better at tracking. I'm great at tracking Facebook, but Instagram I don't track very well. I'm just kind of winging it. And I think that's so smart to do that, because, if you really want to gain some followers and some potential business, then you have to be methodical about it.
Well, I had hoped would do that for me. And y'all know I have a like page. I have maybe 100 people that like it. And anytime I had scheduled like 3 months worth of posts, and I post every single day, and I get 0 interaction on them. And so the way the like pages work, and of course everybody complains about the algorithm of Facebook changing or whatever, but there is some truth to it, because like pages, stuff doesn't show up in the newsfeed if it's not getting any engagement. So 2 or 3 likes is not going to put you on the newsfeed. Nobody's going to ever see it. And so I've been very discouraged and frustrated about that. But I've decided that Instagram is going to be my like page now. And that's basically what that's going to be. And I feel like I can be a little bit more myself on there, and like silly and less professional, and I don't have to feel uncomfortable about that.
And that's a great feeling. And that's what, if you can let down some of those barriers in posts, that's everything to me. People see you and what you're like, and in all aspects, and that goes for anybody, but that's basic posting knowledge. The more you break down those walls, the more people relate to you. And so that's really exciting, Megan, that's the route that you're going, because obviously something's working. You're the only one with Success Club points on the board on our team right now. So, hey.
Well, but that's all. I think that's because I actually sat down and did some inviting.
That works too.
Here's the other thing I wanted to tell y'all. Let me find the name of it, because I didn't write it down before we got on this call. Okay, I found, y'all know I love podcasts. I found a new pod series that y'all should all check out. The name of it is called Social Media Social Hour. And they are quick and easy podcasts. They're all about 30 minutes long, But basically what this is all about, and I listened to like a handful of them today, because I went looking for Instagram podcasts, like people just talking about Instagram and tips and tricks and like whatever. And stumbled across one teeny tiny lonely podcast about Instagram, and it was on this channel, and they talk all about every platform of social media, and they compare. So like they're comparing Instagram stories to Snapchat stories and what the pros and the cons are of each and how they compare to each other, which is going to be better for branding and business versus which one's not. They're talking about, I listened to one today about how Facebook changed their algorithm and what that means and how to sort of get around that. There's several of them that are about Snapchat and different hacks that of Snapchat, things that are like hidden inside of Snapchat that you don't necessarily know, which I didn't listen to that because y'all know how I feel about Snapchat. I hate it. But people who love Snapchat are going to love this podcast. And then they talk about other things like Periscope and some of those other things, which I've looked at Periscope some because, I would also love to have my own podcast because I have lots of things to say. But Periscope seems really complicated, so that'll be for another month. But they talk about all these different platforms and kind of give you some inside scoop into how they work, and they're geared towards how they can work for branding and business. So check that podcast out. They've got a bajillion episodes, and you can just scroll through and find titles that seem like they are relevant to you and the platform that you're on or trying to figure out. But I have found several in here that are really helpful. And they're short and easy to listen to.
Awesome. Thank you. I always need new podcasts or podcasts in general at all to listen to.
Yeah, these are good ones too. They're interesting.
Awesome. Do y'all have any questions for Megan about what she said? Anything about Instagram or just social media in general? Anything anybody wants to bring up?
I have a question. Angela, with when you do yours and you do your little ... and then you just like blow it up with hashtags, Megan, have you looked at, what's the point of that? And is that a success? What is?
Well, basically I'm just burying my hashtags and Megan has hers in her post.
Yeah,
So
I kind of decided, I don't know. But I think that's a good question because I think if you do too many hashtags, people are not necessarily going to click on them and search them. I think it's the funny ones or the catchy ones. When it's just stuff about like mom life or like Mondays suck, when it's things like that, people are like, okay, lame. But when it's really funny and catchy, people search it. In fact, I used a hashtag not long ago. I can't remember what it was. And a friend of mine from high school who I have not talked to in 16 years, who never engages on my Facebook, for whatever reason, searched this hashtag and sent me a private message and said, oh my God, go search the hashtag that you just used. And so I clicked on it and it was nothing but a bunch of pictures of pot.
Great.
And I was like, oh my God, that's the funniest thing ever. She goes, yeah, but you're going to stand out. I was like, I guess. So I decided because, y'all that are friends with Maggie on Facebook, she uses a bajillion emojis. And I always think that that's really funny because that's kind of her thing. Like she just uses a million emojis and that's what everybody kind of knows that she's going to do, whether you like it or not. Like that's just Maggie. And so I kind of decided to take a spin on her emojis and just instead of using emojis, I'm using hashtags or using it inside of my caption. Mm-hmm. And so people have to read what my hashtag is if they're reading my caption. And if it's a funny one, then hopefully they're going to click on it. And that's for people who are not following me. Because anybody that's searching that hashtag, I'm going to now pop up on that feed. That makes sense? Mm-hmm. But in terms of your question, like pro, con, I'm not really sure. I haven't figured that one out yet.
Well, what I've heard and listened to or read is that, you don't want to be too spammy in your posts, meaning it's all hashtag and it's, it's not relatable and it's not something that that you would really look at. And so, when you're trying to connect to people, you don't want your whole post to be hashtags. Now Megan's taken a fun spin on it and putting it within her sentences and in different words. It's not like she writes her message and then posts 80 hashtags below it. That's because to me that's distasteful. It's just kind of like, okay. Or not even distasteful. It's like, it's just not very relatable. You're like, okay, whoa. And then you just like move on. So what I read and tried was posting in my comments, not in my post, just using a few in my post that relate to the post, and then doing my 6 dots. Anything over 5 dots buries it, meaning you don't see it when you pull up the post. It just says one comment, and you have to click on that thing that says one comment to see all the hashtags. So I'm not wanting my viewer that's scrolling to see my big group of hashtags, but the hashtags that are in that group have really helped me beef up my following. I'm only at almost 1,400. It's not like I've got like hundreds of thousands of people following me, but it has really helped me lately in the last, 3 or 4 months by doing that to gain more followers. So it's just kind of, broadening my reach. And so I think, either way is fine, and she's learning and I'm learning, and we'll just kind of see how it goes. But it's a good question.
Okay.
Anyone else have any questions for Meg or for the team? Susan. Oh.
I'm sorry. I've been trying to not yawn, trying not to be rude, and I'm loving all this, but I am covering my mouth.
You are fine.
Away.
I'm just messing with you. Okay, well, if y'all don't have any questions, then we can wrap that up. But Megan, thank you so much for that info. I love it. I love your delivery. I love your creative brain. I love all the things that you can help us learn, because I know I need it all the time. So thank you.
I have a question about Instagram that you might know the answer to, and it's something I haven't seen. Do you know if the Instagram newsfeed is like the Facebook newsfeed, where like the more engagement you get, it bumps up back to the top again?
They just changed it recently. That's
okay.
Brand new. It's newer than Facebook.
It seemed to be that that's what's happening, but I wasn't sure if that was accurate.
And I like it because, Instagram, it's whoever posted the most recent in your friends list is what you're going to see, as opposed to a popular post from your friend in your news feed. So I like it, but I think it's good. I do.
Yeah, I do too.
Because
I have another question.
Sometimes people will get in there and post 20 pictures, one of your friends.
Oh my God, if you're going to post 20 pictures, make a Facebook album.
Or do a collage in like one picture, because on Instagram, then you're like scrolling through the 20 pictures because they just posted all 21 after the other. But now
I've unfollowed people for that because they do it all the time. I'm like, I can only see so many pictures of your kid in a row.
Angie, what was your question, babe?
What is the difference between that and just putting it in your news feed? Is it like the Snapchat stories where you're loading it all up there at once? Is it
Angie, could you start over? You were totally muted at the beginning of your question.
Oh, sorry. The Instagram story, is it like the Snapchat story? Is it just what you've posted all day that you load up into there and then it runs it through? You do it at night or in the morning? I mean, what is the deal with that? Because usually I just get, like, Angela, I get yours up there, and then I get, like, Autumn's and Joel's and Macy's and, like people that, the big brand name Buckle or whoever's selling something, whatever.
Right. So the Instagram stories are totally separate from your Instagram post, although you could duplicate that same picture that you put in your post and add it to your story. So you could either be doing an Instagram post only, or you could do Instagram stories only and never post to your Instagram, or you can be doing both. So like today, you can tell that I only worked I only saw one person today. I had a lot of free time because I did a lot of both. And because I'm going to start playing with the Instagram stories a little bit. So like on my regular Instagram, I posted, I don't know, 3 or 4 pictures throughout the course of the day. But on my story, I did like a selfie while I was going into the store to do some shopping. And then afterwards, I posted a picture of what I bought on my Instagram. So the point behind the story is to kind of give you a backstage pass to what you're doing behind the scenes of what your actual posts are. That's kind of what they set it up to be. But like today I posted 3 little 5-second snippets of the workout that I did. I think that's how I'm going to start documenting Core de Force, is that I'm going to post a few little snippets every single day on my story. And if people watch it, they watch it. And if they don't, they don't. But you can do whatever. You can post all day long. You can post 10 pictures in a row at one time. You can do it however you want. It's basically just like Snapchat, which again, I don't love. And I don't watch other people's Instagram stories because I don't get it. Like, I think it's weird, but I'm going to start doing it because other people look at it and I don't have to look at theirs.
Well, and I think that isn't the most recent updated story of the people that you follow, bump them up right next to you at the top.
Yeah, it's like a news feed. So that's why you're seeing Angela and Joel and like Autumn and some of those people, because they're doing it steadily throughout the course of the day. And that's the benefit of posting consistently throughout the course of the day. It's constantly keeping you bumped up in the news feed at the top of the thing. Although, I mean, well, I don't know.
My problem now is deciding what I'm going to post on Snapchat or Instagram story, because I do both. And I'm trying to, Snapchat's more my crazy messed up life, and Instagram is more business, like food stuff, or not all of it, but, you know, about to work out, stuff like that. Because I feel like, I watched a Shalene podcast. She's like, what is your audience expecting from you? And on Instagram, it's more Beachbody stuff. On Snapchat, it's more me walking home drunk from the Grove. Right? So I feel like if you know who your audience is and tailor it that way, that's how I'm rolling with it. So professional. Anyway,
I love Snapchat. I think it's hilarious.
You do. Chauncey on Snapchat is my life. My life.
I told you how long did it take?
I'm obsessed with it. Obsessed with it.
I am too. He's my like obsession every day.
Y'all need to just get on Snapchat just so you can follow Shanti. I mean, he's like dancing in his underwear, like. Oh my God, it is so freaking fun.
But he's so motivational. Like on top of the silly, crazy, like in his underwear. And then the other night he was talking about that lady who was like, just because you're black and bald doesn't mean you're Sean T. And she was drunk and he was going off. It was hilarious. But he's so motivational.
Yeah.
Every morning I watch it.
Like, you are beautiful, and you know you are important, and you know you're just like yes. Anyway.
And then he's eating a cake pop, watching his husband eat one upside down. It's hilarious.
Yeah, they're so crazy. Anyway, but yeah, I think that if you always keep in mind who your audience is, whether it's Facebook or Instagram or Snapchat or whatever, and just think about what they're expecting to see from you, then they won't unfollow you, or they won't, you know, remove you from their friend list or whatever. So, you know, if you, like Megan was saying, she's starting to do more of Instagram for, you know, all her Beachbody stuff. And I think that it's going to be really exciting to see what happens. You know, I'm excited to see what happens with you on that because that's really cool.
Me too.
Anyway, okay, well, y'all, we are at an hour, so I'm going to let y'all run. I know it's late, especially for you, Angie. You're the late bird on this call.
And there's the time change. I'm like dragging y'all. I'm like sitting up. I'm hot.
Well, You just keep looking beautiful like you are. You're pulling it off. All right. Well, Megan, thank you for sharing. I really appreciate your time. Thank y'all all for being here. I love you with all my heart.
Thank y'all.
Thanks, Megan.
Bye.
Thanks.
Thank you. Bye.